We're making chicken pulao today.
I really need you to hear what I'm saying.
I have 2 cups of rice. So the way I measured my rice is basically I used this glass. So 1 cup is basically one of these and then leveled off. That is 1 cup of rice. So I've got two cups of rice, and you're going to use the same glass to measure your water later, so keep that handy to the side. Let's start with washing our rice. So you want to wash your rice at least 3 or 4 times. I've got water. I'm just going to give it a kind of mix to get rid of the starch. We can drain that water. We'll do the same thing again. Once your rice is washed, we're going to fill some water in there, again some cold water, and then let our rice soak in the cold water. It's important to soak your rice as well, and we're going to let that soak while we prepare the rest of the things. So I'll put that to the side to soak away. So we'll move on to our spices. So I'm going to prepare all my spices beforehand this time into a bowl or a plate, okay? So we start off with our salt. Now the rule of thumb for salt is 1 heaped teaspoon per glass of rice or per cup of rice, okay? And then you taste it towards the end and then see if you need to add some more later. You can add a little bit more, but roughly that is the guideline. So let's go with 2 heaped teaspoons of salt. Then we go in with our coarsely ground black pepper. So 1.5 teaspoons of coarsely ground black pepper. Cumin seeds, with a teaspoon of cumin seeds. Peppercorns, a few peppercorns, so literally 4 or 5. You can also add in cloves at this point if you want to. I normally don't bother, but you can add a couple of cloves in there if you want to as well. Cumin powder, so we want a teaspoon of cumin powder as well. And a teaspoon of coriander powder. Okay. I didn't realise I didn't have any bay leaves, so I've just got, literally out of my bay leaves, I've got that left. And bay leaves add a really nice subtle note to your rice, so they are nice to have in. So you want to add roughly 2 bay leaves, large bay leaf, full ones. I've only got that pathetic little piece. Unfortunately, I didn't have any. Then you want 2 whole large black cardamom pods. Put them. A cinnamon stick. So I'm going to snap that in half, and then the half I'm also going to snap into 2 pieces. That's all our spices done. So I've got 1 large onion here, which we're going to slice into thin slices. Also going to measure out half a glass of water, because we're going to need this to add into our onions once they're brown. So just measure out some water. This part is going to be all go now, so that's why I'm setting up the tripod and putting it, you can see what I'm doing in the pot. So I want everyone to be prepared. I want the onions to be ready, I want your water to be ready, I want your spices to be ready, your chicken to be ready. So let's get started then. We're going to go in with our oil. So roughly about half a cup of oil. I'm just putting enough in just to cover the bottom of the pan. You don't want too much oil in this recipe because you don't want your rice to be greasy, okay? And we're going to turn the heat on. So I'll put the heat on full, on high. And we're going to let the oil heat up a little bit first, just for a few seconds. And the first thing we're going to go in with is our onions. So our sliced onions go into our pot. And I'm just going to start cooking, sauteing the onions on a high heat. And we're going to cook the onions until they go a nice golden brown colour. Now, the trick is the darker you do your onions, the darker your rice will be, okay? So I don't like to do mine too dark, so I keep mine a light golden colour. It's going to take us about 5-6 minutes to get these onions browning. I'm almost there with my onions, they're almost done. So as you see them starting to go quite golden. Now, like I mentioned before, I don't like my rice too dark, so I won't let it go beyond this point. But if you want them a little bit darker, you can cook your onions a bit darker. You want to slowly add in your water, your cold water. Be careful it splatters. It will release the colour of your onions. So there you go, we've got our brown water now, and that is going to colour our rice, okay? So you want to go in with your chicken. all of your chicken. Okay. And all of our spices that we measured earlier are also going in as well. Basically going to saute this now for a few minutes until the chicken is pretty much cooked. Okay. Mine is in really small pieces, so it'll cook fairly quickly. I'm going to go in with my water now, guys. So the important thing to remember about the water is you want double the amount of water to rice, but then minus half a cup, okay? So I'm adding 3.5 cups of water to this rice, okay? I've got 2 cups of rice, so I'm adding 3.5 cups of water. And your 1 cup is basically a full glass to the top, okay? So the same cup that you measured your rice with, so that's 1, 2, 3, and then half a cup. Cold water from the tap. So we're going to just allow that to boil now. You can put your lid on if you want to so it boils faster. I'm going to leave it off so you guys can see what's happening. So we're just waiting for our water to boil so we can add our rice in. And the rice is soaked in water. We're not adding the water that is in the rice with it, okay? We're just adding just the rice. So what I mean by that is we're going to take our rice out of the water and add it in. We're not adding this water that is soaked in with the rice. We're not adding that, okay? Because we don't want any more extra water in there. Just the rice from here. So as you can see, it's starting to boil. And we're going to add the rice into our water. So that's all our rice in. Don't mix it too much because that'll break your rice. Okay, I just mixed it so that the rice is all in there. Bring this to the boil again and we're going to evaporate all the water. So we're going to allow it to boil until most of the water is soaked up. So you'll see what I mean. So I'm going to switch to this kind of spatula because it will help our rice not break. I'm just going to gently just mix it again and see how much water is in there. At this point, I'm going to check my salt. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a few grains of rice, okay, cool them down, and then I'm going to taste them. They're going to be raw, but we need to taste for salt. So it should taste salty, okay? Yeah, I need about half a teaspoon more. If you don't add enough salt into your rice, then your rice just won't taste nice, okay? So majority of the water is now evaporated. I'm going to put my lid on now and then put my heat on low all the way down, okay? And we're going to steam the rice now for 15 minutes. So that's steaming away. Raita is basically a yogurt side dish that is traditionally served with this rice. So you can also make raita for anything else as well. It's a really tasty side dish made with vegetables and yogurt. So the way I make mine, I'll start off with some cucumber. So you need about half a cucumber for this amount that I'm making. And then we're going to dice the cucumber into really, really small pieces. So put your cucumber into your bowl. And again, you're going to dice up your tomato the same way you dice up your cucumber into small little chunks. Straight into the same bowl as your cucumbers. So I'm using half a red onion. Again, finely dice it, okay? So your onion also goes in. I like to use red onion, I just prefer the taste of it. You can use normal white onion as well. You don't have to use red onion. Any kind of natural yogurt or Greek yogurt, nothing too sour. Just add in your yogurt. So it's roughly about 500 grams. If you have thick yogurt that's not loose like this, then you want to just mix it up in the container first and loosen it and then put it in. So it's not too set. So half a teaspoon of salt, half a teaspoon again of coarse black pepper. This just tastes really good in this raita. You can adjust your seasoning according to your taste. Basically just mix your yogurt and salad together. You can add mint to this as well if you want to, guys. Tastes nice, a little bit of mint sauce, but I just like to keep it simple. If you let it sit for a bit, the water will release from the onions and then it will give it a nicer flavor. Our raita's ready, finished steaming, so I'm gonna see what it looks like. Is open up our pot. So we're gonna fluff up our rice now. You don't want to break your rice, okay? Here you go, guys. That is what my rice looks like. You don't want to get any of your whole spices, so what I like to do is fish them out first. So the big cinnamon sticks and stuff, get rid of those before you serve your rice. Some raita on the side. Can't eat it without raita. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Oh my god. So good, guys. Amazing. So simple. Just onions and spices and chicken. And you can bring yourself a beautiful plate of rice just like this. Thank you so much for joining me, guys. Don't forget to send me your rice pictures. I cannot wait to see everybody's rice. Take care of yourselves. Take care of your families. Enjoy your rice. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Bye.